they can try and match the pace. They said they have improved. They have, but they've only just eked on by through into this. The pressure from the grenades. Bounced and tucked in. It's close over the top of Virtue's there. Deliver the stop to P4. There's a spray onto the side of Virtue. Shinka goes down against Blur in the meantime. And that leaves us in a 2 versus 4. You assume Virtue's a bit too close to the fire to get back up, but can they secure him?
Mowgli should be able to go for that kill now.
It was going to be hot from what G2's delivered. And you've come in a little bit too cautious, I think, of, well, even what they might be bringing.
Flashbangs out, Bibu. Wall banged. Benji will take him down. It's 1-0 for G2.
Guns, but otherwise, you find Wolves once again trying to find some control. There's Virtue caught under.
Very sloppy so far from G2. Those two players lost on the back of a drone and a quick swing. Benji escaping with his life, and he might not even have been fully aware of it. As another member of G2 falls. P4 does go quite low. Benja himself as well. Mowgli gets injured. Blur, 1v4 situation. Needs to ace clutch this if he wants to stay in it. Doesn't get very far. Right takes him down.
And then force it, but this is probably why we've seen this side be pulled here from G2. You can't really do that same man of the C4. Caught in the blind. Doki gets Mowgli. Still stuck. Bibu has the air jabs utility and some support. The swing comes. There's the push. Doki gets one more out of it. And the first, okay, you don't see the C4 if everybody's blind, but the second really shouldn't have been his to take, and now the 3 versus 2 on the site. They're pushing down blue. There's some pressure on the main stairs. They've got the catch there on the close corner fight with Virtue. BB wants to swing it, and there it is. A great take. The second, he finds it as well. Blur does get Shinka, puts them into the 1 versus 1. Bibu on the back end of the pop mirror window, playing a bit of ring around the roses, round the wine. But who's been able to get the final drink of each other? Blur, he's behind you, and he just slips away.
To connect.
All the damage and destruction's coming underneath. That grenade was pitch perfect. Alamau pulled out of the room and forced off the fight. Virtue trying to do everything in his power to hold on. There's a bit of a swing underneath, and that's actually the diffuser drop by P4. They have a minute. They have a lot of pressure. They have another body, and they have a lot of control. Doki, he stepped his way back in to offer some support here. The flashes over the top. They got to pull and peel themselves back. Mowgli. There's one more. There's Doki in a firing line, and Wolves, they keep us level.
You know, people like to rotate around. People like to be in every single position. As B4 runs through, Alamau and Virtue pick up 1. That was a rush attempt that gone wrong quickly and steadily. Mowgli hoping to find a reply, but he gets found himself before Virtue drops. The 2-on-4 situation now in favor of G2, looking to
West main, it looks like, and try and pull something out. They have a ping on a player near a broken window, or where they think someone is, but Benja's actually touched on the other. Do they know? No. Benja able to pick up Bibu, and there's Blur with the last.
Snowmobile garage area of the map. Spots are coming through, drones are being taken down. G2's doing everything they need to do to slow down the approach of Wolves as much as they possibly can. That's a, what's that, a floorbang? No, that's from all the way across to the actual back of the kitchen as they wanted to go and knife to keep a barrier. It's Benja that takes down 2.
I mean, that gun, it shoots very, very straight, but Bibu and Shinka shoot straight back. Trying to dabble their way. Swing. You've got what the Azami is, potentially the box that Bibu's cleared off and forced them off, and then the further away position of the Frost that's rotating back round the drop, the smash the barricade. They're planning with the cover just tucked on the opposite end. Do they know? Oh, they know about one. There's the next.
One player at the piano is definitely going to be a big problem maker. Also, of course, the Azami that's playing from the bedroom, going aggressive right now towards Benja. Gets taken down. Mowgli finds that kill, or at least the DBNO, but that is, with this amount of time left, an effective 3-on-3.
Yeah, it's going to make it pretty much impossible to get them back up. They've got to go for something. They've got to go for it sharp, and from that point onwards, it's a direct line, but there's 2 buried. Blur gets 1 back, a 2 versus 2. We've seen this a lot. It's a 1 versus 1. I'm not quite sure how the maths works out, but now it's just the plant is down. Can you try and piece it pulled back? They swing, they pre-fire. They're wide, it's Blur!
Barriers being tossed up right here to provide an extra layer of defense as the balcony outside is now being utilized as well as G2 knocking on the front door, but P4 for a run out takes down Virtue, and that opens up the bedroom as an availability to be used again.
Alamau, he's creeping his way in and knocked right back out with Mogler, doubling it down onto Benja, and well, there's Doki trying to find something, but a flawless is where Mowgli was. There's Rise behind as well. They've got them pinned. They don't quite have the full bite. Alamau holds off, and there's Doki getting one on the back end. People does find Alamau with the shotgun, so he's still in the territory, and they have a bit of a call and awareness onto that. Rise, though, living up to his name, coming up around the back stairs, getting the free take as Doki pushes onto P4, though, and it's really just Doki.
The diffuser is in Blur's hand. He can go through. Benja already did drop in the connector area. They need to try and clear out the player right behind the bins, but before Benja can access him, he just goes for it, gets that kill, but turns it into a 1v2. Blur not able to reply. A camera is going to be given away his position, 7 seconds counting down. He's going to get swung on by Shinka, takes down that kill, and 5-4. 1 round away from evening things out. I don't want to really get it there. Flashbang coming through. Mowgli looks back. Yeah, there he goes. Gets the kill anyway. Wolves in this. As Mowgli does go down, but another kill happened elsewhere.
Yeah.
Did that one shot just down P4?
I think he might have been.
Footage should just go off of as Rise goes aggressive, doesn't quite take down Virtue, drops down the hatch to keep himself alive. Blur goes for a jump in there, right into the frost mat, drops the diffuser in sight. Leaves it only up to Virtue, and this could be a 50-second timeout.
As I said, with the 3 angles, look at them all stacked up, ready and wanting to swing. 3 different places on the piano, the short wall, and why not a little bit wider as well. Wolves pull level. Fair? They have been, so fair enough. Look at the time. How many seconds on the clock?
It's 20 seconds on the clock, diffuser's in hand.
What are you going to do here? What would Pengu do? Well, he might not do that. Drop right into the waiting. More of the players underneath. There's 2 bodies either side. The last is on the jukebox, and Wolves.
Hiding, hoping to not be spotted. Coming in from the back, hoping to go up. Alamau takes down 1. That's going to be the reply potentially. This is quite a few shots, and that means Benja still lives. Aware now that the push back is going. It's a double take over the top coming through, but the plan can go down right now. They need to be quick on stopping this.
They're going for the intel. It's behind the chassis. He can't get the shot because Virtue's there. The camera doesn't do enough. Blur. Post-plant, they threw everything at the chance of a retake over the top, but they were a couple of short steps away from getting it locked in, and it would only have taken 1 bullet there from either of the 2 players to stop that. It's a swing on the door that takes us to OT, though. In addition, the pickup and replacement of Citizen is seeing if he can try and swing some numbers here. 30 seconds, Mowgli gets 1, gets 2. Blur locked down, it's all going to be Benja. There's not a way up there. And Wolves once again are on map point.
He's about to be finding himself into the side as he opens up with his breach charge.
There it is, they're angling up towards the plant. 30 seconds though, and it only takes 1 thing to fall out of place at this risk. Oh, Shinka tears Virtue off with only a single smoke canister used at that point. You've got a C4, you got some support, and you got Doki on the second story. Alamau gets an important frag, but Bibu gets 1 just as important back. They're trying to smash their way through to get this kit planted. Blur is still tucked on close. He's hoping and praying that he can just wait this timer out. This really should be Blur's to pick up, and we are going all the way. Checked just down to his left-hand side. They're lying, they're waiting. There's Rise caught out. There's another one, falls, and Bibu pops up. He was the surprise factor. They didn't quite get the drone. They picked the catch back up. It's not at least an entire disaster, but P4, he's around the back and shoots a little bit premature. Finds 1 on the end of it anyway. 30 seconds, and Wolves are refusing to let anything be comfortable here for G2. It's a scrappy engagement round the side of a couple of bits of things that don't take bullets too kindly, but look at where G2 are. They've got 20 seconds. They're having to play a dangerous scrappy fight as the diffuser still has to make its way down towards the site itself. There's a free catch. An unaware player slips in, but with Shinka holding the back line and the verticality still in the pressure, they have to try and isolate P4. He hops. He's round the back. He's able to find the kill. It's the Maestro. It's P4. And Wolves take Chalet.
They take the first. They manage to hold on to that last side. Windows are making it so much more difficult. Two of those architects currently in play. And even though they have the entry frag, Wolves don't really have any of that big, important control yet. As Alamau takes down one, Doki finds another kill. The drop through the skylight is successful though. Shinka picks up one, but it's going to be collapsed upon now by the remaining G2 members, I believe.
Seeing if they can try and get the stick down. Tucked on the second bar. They're able to get it from underneath. They said that's where Doki wants to be, and he went unchecked, and he was free to work it. The first was a C4. The second is both of them dancing in the middle of the site. 40 seconds. Wolves can't quite lock it out though, and G2 open up with a first.
Yeah, they need to be cutting the pie perfectly here to find him and not actually thinking about the angle. Sneaks up, Shinka finds Virtue though. Bakery under control again, and there's openings made already they can use. If P4 is able to sneak out for the rest of the top four control. There's a player down there, crouch, holding with a very nice tight angle. Doesn't quite hit the shots though, leans back into the fight. Hopes to take down P4.
You're looking at 20 seconds on the clock though, and Blur, they're able to win one out on the top. They have the vertical control, and with what was open before by the buck, it's sort of like, thank you very much, that's mine now. 2 versus 1. He's dropped back down. He's going for the engagement instead of trying to hold on to it. He's seeing if he can get the Ash first. Drops and sprays. Now it's the 2 versus 1. The first is his. The second cannot be. And Wolves respond with the kitchen.
Really, any progress being made by Wolves, this, just becomes closer and closer to an actual G2 round.
Alamau trying to get the 15 kills that was ordered by the dear leader behind them, but Virtue's able to swing in and get one. There's one more for us. Trouble. He's going to find the last fight. No! Virtue's able to lock it in, and G2 respond.
It's going to be difficult, but at least that mirror window is out of play now. No need to worry about it for now. They still need to be pushing themselves inside, and Blur inside of that freezer takes down the first, goes aggressive. The glasses go on to the flashbang zone, be effective. Benja takes down another as Blur finds Yana sprinting by, leaves it only up to P4 now in a 1v3 situation with 20 seconds left on the clock. Diffuser this time, not in hand.
Not even Pengu knows what to do in this situation. A 3 versus 1. P4 suffers the scrap and the scrape. It was fantastic movement from G2 Blur.
It's going to allow Wolves a way through. Just ducks in time, but the pings are there. It's taken down from above. And that's P4 striking big as he finds 2.
P4 driving themselves through after the tag timeout. Mowgli gets Blur as well. There's Alamau. At least able to find one and a second.
The train carts here that he can hide in, and he is in the middle of the site, so he definitely has a good opportunity. Misses the first shots though, takes a lot of damage. He's going to be sandwiched as the plant goes down. He needs to take a fight somewhere. Swaps over to the SMG, gets taken down from behind. Right, shuts him down.
Teammate as Virtue's under pressure. They've only really got the single player on the top floor where they're going to hold on or rotate back. The vertical's still important. The double wall is being cracked open. Alamau gets caught as well, just from P4. Swinging the same door, P4! He's almost got his namesake worth the kills this round, and there's only one player left to do it on. Blur, he's trying his best to hold out, but it is a flawless round to end the Wolves even half. Great read, a great bit of momentum from P4 to just keep the pressure going. You never know when you might slip past their intel and become the problem. Alamau, talking of, slips his way in, just saw the tip of a hammer, and as Alamau's going for the plant, somebody needs to pay a bit of attention. There's the motion. Did they just read the site was empty? The spray connects, but a little too late, a post-plant. And they've moved off the hatch. They're going to go for the trade back in. There's a fight underneath. Benja, he's trying to get the angle. He misses the man. He cannot find him.
Which is going to be really dangerous for Wolves.
Oh, look, there's a Goyo canister that they're trying to pop so no one follows in immediately behind. And it's Mowgli that pops round and gets Virtue tucked on the window. The Monty's just going to stack himself, so nobody can entirely swing their way back. So that's why the smoke canister gets thrown. It forces him out of the door, but Benja gets Rise over the top. And there, round the back of coat check, Benja gets one more. Snuck his way in. He's stolen all the coats. P4 with the impact gets close to the end, but P4 still on the terror. that he's been able to just...
off it, and G2's now afraid of actually pushing through. They know there's no one out there. There is a player actually near. Shinka gets a kill from above. That's Blur taken down. Benja is quite low on HP as well. He gets swung on by the 9x19. Fiasetto with impact almost finishes the jump for him, but B4 gets the kill. Benja trades him out. With the floor bang onto the last. Stay welcome. Shinka's still down below. That C4 could be huge. As Rise finds Benja. So that is going to be a lot of pressure suddenly gone from the outside. It's before the claim down earlier. Brings it back to a 3-on-3.
Hidden in the plant pot, disguised. No one takes a second to smell the roses. And that's a catch. And there's another one. Rise. Love how Wolves, they're just stepping themselves so aggressive. Blur inside the site, alone with a diffuser and 3 French Wolves, or 2 and a Belgian, circling. Not for very long. Wolves, they respond. They're 1 round up once again. How the defenders then have to sort of remobilize and reposition. You can see some of that's coming through, but with only 2 window players for now. Well, 1 window player maybe for now and 1 response. It's a slightly different story. Oh no.
There it is. That's
oh no! There is somebody above. There is somebody above, but it's an interrogation! They're able to get out of there! Bibu gets the cover. They cannot quite get the kill in time.
This round is one. Alamau, yeah, might have still an opportunity. There's a minute left on the clock if you can isolate them. Pre-fires are coming through. He's quite afraid of someone coming down from below. The Bibu's going to be locking it off there, and that is 1 round now for Wolves.
At the angle as the fire pops, they're waiting and slowing them down for now. It's a swing that Doki's able to win out. They have the body advantage, but it's never really been for too long in this engagement. 1 more for Alamau. And they pop themselves forward. P4 though, and Bibu, and P4 once again. Either side finally puts an end. A 1 versus 1 Virtue. He has a lot of time, but look to his left, the rotate's coming through. P4's been aggressive this whole game, not quite working.
Good shit. I listen. I heard he good. I prefer him.
Look at the positions of the Wolves players. They're more than happy to strike when the iron is not hot, but low on time. Pretty soon, we might all be pointing a couple of Pengu quotes in the chat because this is all they have left. Doki is the first gone. There's the next by P4. The watch on the flank is gone. They've got to try and just drive into sight. They're in. They're able to get one off the back. Benja, Tuck going for the plant. The cover is on the door. They have some watch above. They're trying to swing their way around back. Virtue with a huge kill in the fight down Zulu. It's a 3 versus 2. The remaining G2 players did just enough to watch on, and they're not going to hand anything else over. P4. He's on the vertical hunt. He's been able to retake the top floor with Rise, moving in behind the intel. They bring it back to the 2 versus 2. Virtue's outside the door. Alamau's buried in the middle. There's Virtue, putting it into the fight. There's a swing round, and there's Alamau for another OT.
Be used to provide some extra security because phone calls are coming. That means that a push is on its way. Doki falls back a little bit further towards the cooking area. He doesn't want to stick around. Blur finds the first. Shinka tries to respond because that's the VIP player.
That's it, 20 seconds, and they've been able to get that entry on the player now stuck alone inside and towards the freezer itself. Bibu's trying to offer some support for the swing, but look at the time. This is what they wanted to push, and Shinka pushes the site. Doki gets caught out. Bibu gets 1, cannot get the next. Mowgli has Blur. They're swinging their way. Benja C4 stops the plant. They got to try and pick it up. Benja just has to see if he can get this snuck round. Do they know where he is? They're watching the wrong way. They also have dead players to watch the cams, the movement of the Talon shield, the focus. Shinka a little bit too late to put some bullets back, but look at the time. They can fall back at this point. The pressure is still on G2. They're probably going to see if they can tuck the Talon shield, so Bibu moves closer. A little spot in the corner of an angle, and Alamau is going to the opposite end. Where do you deploy the shield? You've got to do it soon. Bibu can't quite get the full shots, but they can move in. There's Bibu getting the freebie on the swing, the cover on the player on the plant. They're able to hop on the top, and we are going all the way for the second time. But he sprays a bit, and that kind of says it right back. How much do you risk here? There is enough. Blur has been pinpoint throughout this series for G2, and he puts us back in the 3 versus 3, even hand, even game. A split push rise on the far end, a bit of a rotation and a struggle with the drone, and oh, it's maybe the tensest moment that you got to try and get those rolled through. That will give a bit of the game. Mowgli's trying to find out the piece. They've put the pressure from the new hatch. They've slipped their way through. Alamau gets one. They're able to get the trade back in, but now with one needing to plant, rises to swing in. Pre-fires, gets it and moves. They will move across the upper bracket. They will keep themselves fighting, and G2 will fall down to the lower bracket at the vicious bite of the Wolves.
They might have won 15 maps in scrims, but that doesn't matter if you don't win it here today.